What's good? It's your boy Fanon. All right, this morning I'm going to talk about something somebody sent me about Victor Conte saying something, bringing up an issue about Vada testing for the Mikey Garcia Errol Spence Jr. fight. And I'm going to have it on the screen. And let me tell you what I think about this ahead of time. Victor Conte is using this fight. First of all, he's responding to a question that somebody asked him, but he's using this fight to sell Vada. And I don't know what interest he has in Vada or not, but I think that it's a little funny, man, how this dude who is a known criminal, known crook, his word means so much to so many people. And it's obvious that this dude is he'll raise this issue about Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence, but then when somebody responds to him, he gets slick with his answer. So let me go through it. But before I do that, please subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And thank you guys for everybody that supports the channel. It is much, much appreciated. Now, the part of this that you'll see is a guy named Errol asks him, considering the well-publicized size advantage, I have no idea why Garcia's team didn't push for Vada testing on Spence's part, especially in today's boxing landscape. Victor Conte responds, my understanding is that there was a genuine push for Vada testing for this Mikey Garcia and Errol Spence Jr. fight. It was denied by the A side. Go figure. Boxing deserves leadership that supports clean sport, and especially in these more challenging type fight class cases. Let me tell you something, man. This motherfucker is the dude who's supposed to be working with Mikey Garcia. This is a guy that's working for Mikey Garcia, complaining about Mikey Garcia not being able to get the testing protocol that Mikey Garcia wanted. If what he says is the truth. Here's the problem, and I say this every time somebody asks this about why Errol Spence Jr. or somebody from the IBF is not signed up for Vada. Vada is the WBC clean boxing program. The WBC, not the IBF, the International Boxing Federation. They use USADA. USADA, U.S. Anti-Doping Agency. That is what their testing protocol is. They are fighting for the IBF belt. The IBF belt is the one whose rules and regulations dictate who is being tested, who's doing the testing, not the individual fighter. They could stipulate that in a contract. I'm sure that would be extra testing. So they would be testing with USADA and testing with Vada for the IBF belt. So Mikey Garcia would be asking for double testing of a guy who he called out. Why would Errol Spence Jr. have to go out of his way to do something extra for Mikey Garcia? If Mikey Garcia is the WBC champion at lightweight, stay your little ass down there and fight Richard Comey for the IBF as your IBF mandatory and for the WBC belt. If your reported boss Victor Conte wants to do two testing protocols for the same fight. That's the first beef. This is the first beef that I have with it. And I don't have problem with people using Vada testing. Deontay Wilder is the WBC champion. Consequently, he does Vada testing. And I believe he might do some extra testing, pay for some extra protocols. I'm not sure. I've heard that. I can't verify that. But see, this is where Victor Conte gets dishonest, or he gets slick. The next guy, you'll be able to see it in your screen. You can't see his response at the top, but I'll read it to you. He says, this guy, Travis Hartman, the real Travis Hartman, replies and says, Spence enrolled in Vada program where he gets tested yearly. He agreed to this in September. So where is this coming from, Vic? Clearly, this is coming. First of all, it's coming because he's supposed to be working with Mikey Garcia. And he is a proponent of Vada testing. Now I can also get into what happened with Vada. The why anyway. I'll leave the Vada testing out of it. I'm not an expert on steroids or being a criminal like Victor Conte is. But man, give me a break. This is how he responds though. He says you may be mistaken in regards to Errol Spence Jr. being enrolled in Vada on a 24/7/365 basis. Okay. Why should Mikey Garcia get Errol Spence Jr. to sign up for if he's not fighting for a WBC belt, why, if he was going to do 24/7/365 basis testing, why would he do that for Mikey Garcia in a fight that the WBC, with no WBC belt on the line? The issue Victor Conte should be raising is why the IBF doesn't use Vada. Why does the IBF not use Vada? Not why doesn't Errol Spence Jr. agree to 2 separate testing protocols for the same fight and pay for it? Why? Why don't you raise your issue with the IBF? Raise your issue with the WBO. Raise your issue with the WBA. Those guys, they're the ones that use USADA, or somebody over there in the UK might use WADA instead of Vada. Now, I have no reason to believe that Vada's testing protocols aren't more stringent and all that. I can't speak to that. But I know that 100% for sure that if Victor Conte is talking about somebody that's going to work with him, to point the finger at Errol Spence Jr. when Mikey Garcia is the one hiring Victor Conte sounds real funny to me. As soon as I heard Mikey Garcia was signing up with Victor Conte, what was the first thing people started talking about, and the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, geez, he's going to juice up, huh? He's going to find a way to juice up legally with Victor Conte. So maybe what Victor Conte is going to do is Victor Conte is going to find a way to juice him up legally and find a way to badmouth him, and accuse him, imply that he could be juicing ahead of the fight. What, to make an excuse for Mikey Garcia losing? Man, look, Victor Conte, other than especially when Victor Conte shared his opinion on boxing. Anyway, man, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of a known cheater. Victor Conte shouldn't even be working in the sport of boxing. After he got caught and put in jail, why would you even allow that dude back out to work with boxers? Because he's, whatever. Anyway, this seems to me to be just an attempt by Mikey Garcia's team if Victor Conte is on Errol Spence Jr. is on Mikey Garcia's team, the way that I would interpret this is an attempt by Mikey Garcia's team to smear Errol Spence Jr. And if you didn't want the fight, don't take the fight. Don't call for the fight. Not hard. If Mikey Garcia believes that Errol Spence Jr. is on performance enhancing drugs, don't take the fight. Go down there and fight Vasyl Lomachenko down there to WBA, and then see if Bob Arum is going to let you do. If Bob Arum is going to be willing to pay for WADA testing, USADA testing, and VADA testing. But another interesting side point about this is, hey man, it was denied by the A side. The A side. So I hate that term, but I'm going to use it for today. That tells you who had the one that really had the power in the negotiation. For the people that keep telling me that Mikey Garcia is more popular and all that corny stuff that doesn't matter at the end of the day. But look, man, I would love very much if all of boxing had the same testing protocol and they all did 24/7 in competition, out of competition testing. I would love it if what they tested for was uniform. If the times that they test for them were uniform, in that all of them would be banned in competition, out of competition, not just some in competition, some out of competition. I think there's a whole lot of ways that people play with this stuff. And I'm not going to go out of my way to say that I know for certain that any one particular person is doping or is not doping. There's a whole bunch of people in boxing that seem like they're doping. But if the IBF, who's the sanctioning body behind it, says Errol Spence Jr., Mikey Garcia, you're fighting for our belt, USADA is going to be the testing agency for this fight. Why would Errol Spence Jr. then agree to extra testing? It makes no sense to me. Unless he wants to. If he wants to, hey, cool. He wants to. But if he doesn't want to, just leave it alone, man. It is what it is, man. Like I said, you have belts of you. Mikey Garcia has belts of his own, man. And Mikey Garcia is more than capable of going down there and not fighting on pay-per-view, not fighting on whatever that is, AT&T Stadium, and go defend the belts with the belts that you have against Vasily Lomachenko and get into that with him, man. Get back into that with him. But anyway, it is what it is. With that, I'm out. Peace.